are recording. So, how are you today, buddy? How was your day?
I had a phenomenal day. I am doing fantastic.
Have you seen the page in the last couple of days? It's like off the charts. People are enjoying the channel. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, like, oh no, I've seen the channel, and I want to thank everybody because the numbers have been outrageous, especially for a brand new channel. So I'm very excited. I think everybody.
We got to give them a really good thing. I know, I had kisses and hugs and everything. we got to give them a fantastic episode today. Another fantastic.
Yes,
we'll knock it out of the park. Something related to, I was thinking, what do you think about this? I was thinking about once before, I was with a young lady. I was a young bachelor at the time, and we were in an intimate moment, very intimate, and I said to her, honey, or baby, I love you.
What?
Right? And she went meanwhile, there was no love necessarily involved, but she loved that I said that I love you.
What were you doing when you said I love you?
We were in the intimate moment,
Oh!
Because I truly felt in love.
Let's drop it.
Yeah. So what do you think about this?
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Weigh-In. The title of today's episode is Sex and I Love You.
Oh, you hit it right on the nose, man. I like that.
Woo, I'm ready.
So have you ever had any moments similar to what I was talking about, when maybe even currently?
Being with ladies? Yes.
Well, that part, obviously. But I'm talking about where the word leaks out, And you do mean that. You're in the passion throes,
Yes. Yes, I have.
How does that play out? How do girls accept that?
Before we even get into that, I like to remark that every time that I've said it, I've not said it a lot in the throes of passion, making sexual congress, but I have said it, and it has been true.
Of course.
It has been true.
But is it true in the sense that I love you, I want to be with you, or I just love the moment we're having? I mean, is it still a full form of love, or is it a short form of love?
First of all, love is like consciousness. It's very hard to define.
It's heady.
Oh yeah, love heady. But love is like consciousness in the fact that you can't really define it or describe it, but you know when you're under its spell.
Sure, and it doesn't have to always be sexual either.
And it doesn't have to always be sexual. It can be
a beautiful conversation, a lovely girl, a lovely smelling neck that you're about to just wrap your tongue around. I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely. But I've definitely meant it, and because I felt it, and it was definitely in that moment. Because you got to think about it like this. When you're having sex with another human being, and I've said this before, that is the closest of connections that you can have with another person that I feel.
It's like godly, like it's big.
Yeah,
big.
It's definitely up there because this is like the height of intimacy. You're exposed,
no doubt,
completely.
No doubt about it.
And everything that goes on during sex, it's hard to fake things during sex, even though women fake the orgasm, that type of shit.
Sure.
But most of the times when you're having sex with somebody, you can't really fake that,
Yeah. No, you can't fake the true passionate relationship you're having with that person at that time. Yeah, you're toying with the building blocks of life and fundamental things that are beyond the scope of reasoning at times. It's deep.
Yeah, and it's like the endogenous opioid system is activated. And that's neurotransmitters, that's hormones. And fun fact, I did a little research, and obviously the biggest hormone is dopamine, but there are 30 active parts of the brain that are involved during an orgasm.
Wow.
30 different parts of the brain.
Because I was going to ask you, I said, is when you're having your intimate relationships with a female or a male, whatever you're into, is that the only time in our life as an organic being that we actually have that many things coming to life? Like these 30 different things happening? Is there anything that even comes close to it? I'm going to guess probably not. Because this is really like the script. If you were a script writer for a computer, you're script writing here.
I can't say for certain, but I know it's definitely got to be up there in tier as far as brain activity.
I would think so.
Unless you're a grandmaster chess player, or a race car driver, you're doing something that's activating parts of your brain and it's taking all of your focus.
But I wonder if fear and injury also ignites some things. But obviously,
it's definitely still the arousal system that's getting.
It's still a form of it, right? 30. That's pretty fantastic.
30. That's a lot going on. Because sex.
And I feel it. I know you feel that.
People. there's a misconception. Like, sex is in the brain.
Sure.
Like, everything that's happening, everything that you feel starts in the brain. Sex is obviously a physical thing, you know, there's organs and parts and things moving and, you know, but sex is in the brain. For what you see, what's stimulated, it's all in the brain.
It truly is. I mean, you can see yourself when you're working on, it's like the runner's high. You've heard about the runner's high.
Yeah.
You start off a little slow, you know, you're working out, you got a little sweat going, it kicks into like 5 or 6 different steps, and then they're on cloud 9, right?
Yeah.
When you're with a woman, same thing also.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because no. And just to add on to that point that you're making, you're getting the endorphins.
Sure.
And that's the same thing with sex. Sex is a natural painkiller. Because you're getting those endorphins,
pretty wild.
you know, getting pumped into your body, that opioid system and stuff. Like, you feel less pain. Like if they hooked you up to an MRI, like, you would show functionally in your brain that you feel less pain.
That's interesting.
That's documented. It's, you know, that's medical.
But that's probably one of the earlier steps that gets you to obviously the orgasmic step.
Yes.
There's got to be a lot of, you get in different zones along the way. We've all been there before.
Yes.
It is pretty stunning. It is one of the greatest things of all time, you know. You are just like a whimpering child sometimes deep inside when you're that intimate with a woman.
Yeah.
Because you're connected. You truly are connected, you know.
Now, conversely, you got to think about this society.
Sure.
So think about Western culture.
Sure.
You know, when guy meets a girl, guy falls in love, you know, got to take you to my parents, you know, if I want to marry you, I got to ask you for your father's hands. There's a lot of customs, rituals, traditions that
Sure.
go on. So I do believe that sometimes it may get faked by a man, you know, maybe by a woman, but by a man. And I feel like it's almost that the guy feels that he has to say that I love you just because, like, you know, like the woman giving of herself, he feels like he needs to compensate, you know, by saying something to kind of like show that there is a bond, because you don't want to be viewed as a player.
Sure,
Coming through
sure.
with the wham bam, thank you ma'am, and I'm gonna be out. You know, whether that's your plan or not, most men do not want to be viewed as such.
No, they really don't. At least pure gentlemen.
The
Poor
committal
gentlemen.
aspect of having to say that.
Well, maybe it's, you know, we're talking about I love you, you know,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
which is heavy.
Sure.
Love is heavy.
Very heavy. But are they actually thinking, or like, baby, I love what you do? You know, I love what you do for me. I love what you do on me.
So
whatever it might be.
So here's my thoughts on that. If I had to unpack it, you're so caught up in the moment.
Oh,
and I'm
sure.
not saying me because I'm a very heady guy. I'm in my brain. I'm very mindful and conscious. Some dudes could be saying I love you when it actually means I love how you're making me feel right now.
I think it is.
And I think that's where a lot of the women, there's the disbelief and there's the disconnect where they don't feel that they can connect as much and say it right back because they're like, no, you know, like you're partaking of the flower right now, so like you don't really love me, you just love what's going on, you know. So there's the separation of the act and who I am. And you know, women, just like men, but you know, women want to be loved for who they are.
Sure.
And not what they're giving you, you know. And I personally don't view sex as, you know, it's a giving, but I don't view it as I'm giving you something or you giving me something. I always view it as creation. We're making something. Not that I'm trying to.
Oh
be
yeah,
out
no,
there making
it's a
babies.
mutual creative type of a process. There's no doubt about it. I mean, sometimes you feel so happy and so cosmic about it. Your mind starts to open up in such a cosmic way where you feel like love is it's like hippie talk almost, you know? You feel like love is the greatest thing there could possibly be. The woman seems more alive. She smells alive. Her sweat, whatever is kicking off, she smells you.
The pheromones.
Yeah, look, I mean, it sounds almost like it's some kind of cliche little love story written by somebody from the 18th century or from the Edwardian era, but no, it's a true fact. And, you know, it's not about wham damn.
Damn.
It's not
some
about
of
wham.
my whams have been like, damn, girls have been like, damn, son,
Well,
you putting it down. I'm like, yeah,
you are
I
legend.
put it, yeah.
You are legend, my man.
Yeah.
And not Will Smith legend, but you are legend.
That's funny. People say I look like Will Smith sometimes. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when I was younger, they would pull me like, yo, you come here, you look like Will Smith. With the smiling in the eyes. You
Is
always
that
tell me.
before the Five Guys extravaganzas?
Shots fired. Hey, okay.
Just kidding, bro.
Yo, 2020. I guess I got to get a Peloton bike.
Oh my God, the Peloton. That's the butt end of jokes in the war now.
I guess I got to get a Peloton bike and get back in shape.
I watch that bike race every year out of France. It's called the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Right? And when you have a group of people that are doing the same thing, it's called Peloton.
Oh, okay.
That's where it comes from.
Good
so
shit.
It was kind of neat that they chose the word, because I dig the word, you know? You need to watch that sometimes. I know you're a busy guy, but it runs for about 2 weeks or so. It runs every night for about 3-4 hours a night. It's fun to watch because you see the humanity of these male characters that are really doing this crazy thing of riding this, all these hills in France. And anyway, getting back to, where we were.
I'll definitely check that out. But, yeah, so I also think that, because you got to think about it like this too. When you have sex with somebody, when you copulate with another human being, like that is huge. Like,
it really
we can kind of downplay it as much as we want, but like it is huge. Like there's a lot of emotions that are going on. So even if you only feel it in that moment, to me, I still think that the feeling lingers. Like it'll pop back up. Like you may leave and go back to your regular life, but I do still feel like there's extra attachment. It's like, you ever heard of the word?
Well, if you do it well, it's going to leave extra attachment. You're going to be calling this lady up, or she's going to definitely be calling you back.
Yo, my stroke is magical. Ladies, my stroke is magical. But you ever heard of oxytocin?
No, but I heard oxy something else.
Oxytocin is a hormone. It's a chemical that's released when two people hug. They sometimes call it the cuddling hormone.
Interesting.
So like when you go home and you hug your wife, you release a little bit of oxytocin.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it makes you feel more attracted to her. And then when you leave her, since she's the one woman that you're hugging all the time, your body will kick off that oxytocin every now and then that make you want and love your wife a little bit more.
And she's going to be lingering for your hug too, also, on the other end.
And it's the genetically, it was evolved in the body to not allow like a man to just go procreate with a woman and just leave.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it happens with your kids
wired
too.
wild.
Yeah, it's not a sexual thing because it's wired to your kids too. Like when you hug your kids, you're like, "Oh man, come here, little dude, I love you."
Yeah. Yeah, it's a companionship kind of thing. It's it's a communal thing. It's definitely about family and tribe.
Yeah, so you got to think about that when you're skin. Like I don't know how you have sex, but I'm fully closed off. It's not like I keep my boxers on and stick it through the pee hole. Like I'm fully.
Well, I think when you're younger, like younger than me, obviously, and me, even a little bit. Remember, obviously, you still enjoy yourself. You do what you just said, but when you're younger, you just need to feel all that flesh, and the same on the other end. When you're making love, when you're in your 20s and your 30s and even your 40s, it's still hell's. It's like hell's bells. It's wheels to the pedal,
But when you got that flesh on flesh,
it's stunning.
There's more oxytocin being released.
Without a doubt.
So like now, like you're feeling more connection with the person that you're actually, with at that moment. And it's going to be that lingering effect.
Sure. That lingering effect is what sets everything off, because when you're just touching and rubbing the beautiful woman and you're inside of her legs and you're just they seem so much softer and so much more like they're heavenly and everything. It just drives you crazy. And you're going to obviously be getting intimate within the next few minutes or so. But it's true. And I think your mind starts to believe that. Actually, it's confirmed. I shouldn't say believe it. It's obviously happening. The mind actually just falls in love with that and can't wait to go to the next level.
Do you think it's a good or a bad thing to say I love you during sex? And let me preface this. Do you think it's if this is like the first time or the first couple times that you've had sex, Well,
I'll tell you one thing. If it does come out and it does happen, you better make sure you have an answer to what you just said. Because if this girl is, say, a couple years younger than you are, say you're 30, she's 27 or something, she's not used to hearing, maybe she's not, maybe she is, to hearing the I love you stuff. She'll got to say, like, what did you say? And you got to defend yourself. So you can't be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of gentleman. You need to. That's not even a gentleman.
But
you can't do that.
You
gotta know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. So, we could broach that for another day. But, are you saying if she replies, "I love you" back, or if she just asks, "What does that mean?"
Well, be ready.
So if she says I love you back, and then I guess that's the easier course to play. So like, okay, we love each other, and then you can deal with the ramifications later on.
Yeah.
But if she says, what do you mean by that? How do you unpack that?
Dude, it's tough. It's tough.
Like, do you tell her like?
Sure.
To me, my advice to the guys listening out there, or the gals, you know, is to just say, this is how I feel in the moment, and like I want to express myself like this.
Well,
if
hopefully
it makes you uncomfortable, you know, I'm sorry. We could talk about that. I won't say it again, but this is how I feel. And you know, once again, you know, if you go back to our episode "Too Sexy for My Shirt," which is about sexual communication, you know, you understand that sexual communication is key. So I think that you should just talk about it either way.
Well, you
tell them that's how I feel.
As long as you're intelligent, and as long as you appreciate the woman you're with, and the same for the woman, as long as she's intelligent, she appreciates the man she's with, then you both can cope with it, and you can deal with it, and it's not really a problem. But if you're just in for the fun, you pick the girl up, good luck getting out of that mess. But love is what it's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the weigh-in.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That was a good episode.
Yeah, it was. It was. We almost needed more time on that.
That episode, it flowed too.
That was phenomenal.
It flowed real fast.
Well, did you notice, like, even for us, there's even a couple moments of, like, we're trying to kind of explain what we're trying to say, too. We're not tripping up like like a young male or a female will be when they're having sex and they say, I love you. But we're trying to find the right smooth answers to say that are appropriate to be using. So,
yeah.
I mean, this emotion does trigger a lot of, like, uncomfortable quirkiness in human beings.
I don't feel uncomfortable, but it makes you... It makes you think. So you're like, oh man, what's going on? How do I really feel about that? You know, and some of these episodes I think about, and some of these episodes I like to just go on the fly with.
You're right, but you know something? I'll be thinking about this episode a lot because when it comes to man and woman, it's always a great topic, and we try our best. And
hell yeah.
I hope everybody appreciates the episode. I think they will.
Yes, they will.
I mean, look, they like us. We're good guys. We're not full of shit enough.
Shit, them numbers don't lie.
They don't lie.
Are they going to say that it's tone deaf, that it's insensitive? Will the current climate of TV consumers just not accept it and just reject it?
No, I don't think so. I think absolutely the opposite, Julian. I mean,
you think this is a good schemey thing that like they're
I don't know.
just
Because they wrote this before George died, obviously.
Yeah, but we're talking about the show that they're coming out.
Correct.
With.
Well, Gotham has always been crooked. You saw it in the TV show called Gotham a couple years ago. So to have the style of writing that Brubaker likes to work with, telling the story of the corruptness in Gotham, has always been in the Batman comics and stuff. Commissioner Gordon's always had to deal with corrupt police officers and detectives. This is an ongoing story.
Yeah, no, I'm with that for sure. But what I'm saying is, look at this. Live PD have 4 seasons, canceled. Yeah,
but those are different.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Cops, had 6 seasons on Paramount, 25 seasons on Fox.
That's disgusting, by the way.
Canceled. So I don't know if it was from the public unrest that they canceled these shows. I don't know why, but they were canceled. Is it a good look to try to come out with that? Because think about this. The George Floyd trial is not going to take place for at least another 7 months. That's how these things go. So that's around the time that they're going to start teasing little trailers to promote this show. Is it going to be receptive, or are people going to be like, no, we don't fuck with cops? Is the optics on the timing good is what I'm asking.
I do. I feel more optimistic than you do on this a little bit. I think the optics are fantastic for it because it's going to be about the fact that the good guys win in this.
Okay.
The bad guys are going to be the culprits. They're going to be doing what they do, the bad cops. But it's really about Batman don't take any fucking shit. Batman's tough. It's fictional, of course.
But
it's not going to be tone deaf at all.
But think about this.